And our next storyteller is Adriana.
I think so. Yeah. Is that good? Yeah. All right. So, I'm no stranger to aggressive flirting. I grew up in Venezuela, being female, and I have experienced a lot of sort of like the catcalling stuff, a lot of flirty, maybe inappropriate conversations. But I discovered new levels when I was traveling by myself in West Africa last year. And I was there for work, and for the first few weeks I was there with a bunch of guys, a bunch of math professors. I'm a math professor. We were teaching math. And you know, you would get like the sort of like, oh, professor, you look so pretty today. Or, oh, you should wear more dresses. You know, that kind of thing. And I'm like, it's cultural, it's okay. You know, but I didn't realize that these 6 guys that I was traveling with were essentially like my 6 travel husbands, you know, and at some point we separated. And I was told it was fine to travel through Ghana by yourself. It's very safe. And I like traveling by myself. And so I was by myself. And the first day that I separated from these guys, I was getting a lot more attention than I was used to. So these guys were coming up and like, hi, are you on Facebook? Apparently that's a pickup line. But I was like, yes. And then they're like, can I get your contact information? I'm like, no, why not? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know you. I mean, and so a lot of this stuff was happening. And like in that first day, I got hit on by the tour guide at the park, by the taxi driver, by the taxi driver's brother, by the guy that was checking me into the hotel. And at some point, you know, I was like, I mean, again, I'm saying this is a cultural thing, but I'm just not used to it. And it was very distracting. I'm trying to travel by myself, and I'm getting like all this attention that I don't really want. And so at some point, you know, someone says, are you on Facebook? This is when I was at the pool by the beach. And I'm like, no, but my husband is, you know. And I get this great idea. And then they're like, what's your husband's name? I'm like, Channing Tatum? I don't know. So then, you know, like I start sort of realizing I need a better story, you know, and then I was at the bar and the bartender starts hitting on me, and I'm like, you know, looking through my phone, and the wallpaper on my phone is my 2 nieces, and he's like, oh, are those your daughters? And I'm like, no, oh, wait, yes. So suddenly I'm married and I have kids, right? And so I realized that you need a good lie. You need to like really think about every single detail so that if people ask you about it, then you know, react normally to it. And so I decided, well, I have 2 good friends, Mike and Elizabeth, and I combined their names in sort of the opposite way that you normally do. So I took his first name and her last name. And I'm like, Mike Thorin, that's my husband. Mike Thorin, he's also a mathematician. He's also traveling. We're traveling because he went to a conference, not me. We have 2 kids, Camilla and Isabel. You shouldn't change the names of the kids, right? Like they're my nieces, but I kept their names because I was like, it's easier to remember. Camilla and Isabel Thorin, you know. And so, yeah, and so I start making up this whole story. But then I realized, okay, but Mike is never with me. I'm always walking down this beach by myself. So why is that? And I remembered that one of my travel husbands got malaria on the trip. And I'm like, Mike has malaria. He's stuck in the room with malaria. And we decided to go to the beach because we already had this reservation, you know. So I'm trying to enjoy myself while he's like, you know, super sick in his broom. And so at some point, people actually stopped bugging me so much. First of all, I always have these like good answers. Of course, Mike started sounding a little too perfect. And so, of course, he's really, really jealous, right? Like insanely jealous. Like he cannot stand that I talk to other men, you know? So are you on Facebook? I'm like, no, my husband is. And he doesn't like me to talk to people, you know? So, you know, you can ask him for permission. He has malaria, but he's still, you know, like really big. You know, for a mathematician, he's like built, you know? And so And so, of course, like, you know, I start carrying myself with a lot more confidence, and I think I look married and I have kids, you know? And so at some point I'm like really, you know, enjoying my romantic vacation with my husband. The trip, of course, ends, and the relationship, of course, didn't last. We were too different. He was imaginary, but we'll always have Ghana.